Hey guys, welcome back to another TV review. If you've been keeping track of my channel, I have been recently reviewing the Chernobyl miniseries that's airing on HBO. The last episode is this Monday, so I was looking for another show to watch, and this is one I've been looking forward to for a while. NOS4A2 just premiered on AMC tonight, and it's based on a novel by Joe Hill, which I have not read yet, but this is something I wanted to look into because it looked pretty intriguing. But for all you book lovers out there, I want to know what you thought of the book, and if this is a show that you were interested in seeing, and if you saw tonight's episode, how did it differ from the book so far? Share all those in the comments below. I love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this show. And also, don't forget to click on that subscribe button, click on that bell notification to hear any more content from me for your future enjoyment. The show is described as a supernatural horror drama, and the premise is as follows: about a woman named Victoria, or Vic, McQueen, who is a young working-class artist who discovers she has a supernatural ability to track the seemingly immortal Charlie Mannix. Now, Mannix feeds off of the souls of children, then deposits of their remains into a place called Christmasland, a twisted Christmas village of Mannix's imagination where every day is Christmas Day and unhappiness is against the law. Now, Vic must strive to defeat Mannix and rescue his victims without losing her mind or falling victim to him herself. So as I already mentioned, NOS4A2, the book, I'm not too familiar with. And same with the author, Joe Hill. I'm not familiar with his work, but when I saw this trailer, it seemed very Stephen King-like. The atmosphere and just what the characters were going through just by watching the 2-minute preview. And on top of that, the name of this show is NOS4A2. It's spelled out in the license plate style, which was kind of cool, I thought. But I thought it was related to the silent film movie NOS4A2 that's partially based on Dracula, if you all know that silent movie. I was thinking, oh, this might be interesting, but from what it looks like so far, it's not. But after seeing the first episode, it kind of gives me a good idea of what this world is about and where it's going. And I did my research of the book, and it looks like it takes a few different changes from the novel to the TV show, though it seems intriguing enough for me to keep on watching to see where this season's gonna end up going. But this show is titled The Shorter Way, and that's when we first meet our two co-stars, Ashley Cummings, who plays Vic, and Zachary Quinto, who plays Charlie Mannix. So this episode primarily deals with the exposition of our main heroine, Vic, and you get a little glimpse of this Christmasland, this Charlie character, and what he's all about, because the episode begins with him kidnapping a boy named Daniel, and you see him first as an old man, this Charlie Mannix, and throughout the whole episode where you see those two in a car after he kidnapped him, by the end of the episode, he's a younger man. He's the Zachary Quinto that we know. So it's told that he feeds off the souls of children. So what it looks like is by the time he gets to Christmasland, their soul is completely drained from this one character. So you get to see this character and the boy mainly through the scenes when they're in the car. The main chunk of this episode deals with Ashley Cummings' character, Vic. And we meet her, at first she's an 18-year-old, and she's a girl that seems like a misfit. She seems out of place. She wants more out of life. She wants to go to college. She doesn't necessarily look down on her parents, but she wants to do better than them because her mom is a cleaning woman. She cleans houses, and she doesn't want to do that for the rest of her life. It seems that her parents are not having a good relationship. She is just in a broken home from what it seems like, and she has these friends. She has this one close friend. She goes to a party where these other kids are at, and it seems that there are all these rich type of kids, and they all have parents that are doctors, so they are destined to go to college to be these, you know, very important people, rich people, and they kind of look down upon Vic. So that's why I said she seems like the misfit in this show. It's somebody that everyone can either root for or relate to. And being that it's the first time I've seen this actress on screen, she was very convincing in this role. And one of the reasons why I want to keep watching the show is because of her. So with Vic and her abilities, we don't really get to see that come into fruition until maybe about half an hour or so into this episode. And she's driving next to a bridge that she sees. She goes to her art class. She draws a picture of it. The teacher comments on it and says, "Oh, I love that bridge. That's where I had my first kiss. I was so sad when they demolished it." And Vic is very confused into why she said demolished because she saw it with her own eyes. And she goes home, I think later on after that moment, and her parents had a fight dealing with a lost watch. And eventually she goes back to the bridge and she drives through the bridge. And when she gets to the other side, she's all of a sudden in this other part of town, and there she goes to one of the diners there and she gets the lost watch that her father lost. And as the audience, at least for me, if I realized, oh, okay, she's going to a portal where she's getting these lost things. And I like shows and some movies that do this where they don't directly explain to the audience what is happening. They don't have a character saying, okay, this is what happens. They have to have you, the audience member, pick up these clues by yourself. And I thought that was interesting because when she first goes through the tunnel, she sees this graffiti on the tunnels, and I can't remember what they said, but I think they were related to what she was trying to look for. So by the time she gets to the other side, she gets what she wanted. So I feel, knowing that I know nothing about the book, where the show's going, I think she's going to have a really big part into trying to locate these children that Charlie is kidnapping. Unfortunately, we don't get to see any interaction between our two main co-stars, but being that this is a 10-episode season, I'm pretty sure we're going to see these two interact later on. And as I said before, it does end on a cliffhanger. We see Zachary Quinto's character, Charlie. He had kidnapped the boy, Daniel, and they're getting to, for what it looks like, Christmas Land. And we only had sneak peeks of what it looked like in the commercials. And you've seen Charlie go from an old man to a young man, and with the boy, he goes from looking normal to looking not so good. And that's, I think, him kind of draining his soul. And he smiles at one part and he gets these fangs on him. That's when I first thought, okay, is this vampire related? What is this? And it's named NOS4A2, so I'm like, it has to be vampire related. And I just was interested to know where the show was going, because I knew it was supernatural, but in what way? So it left off, for me, going in a good direction. I want to see where the next 9 episodes go. I just want to know how it's going to go, because I'm still kind of clueless, but I have a good idea of where it's going, and it definitely intrigues me to read the book as well. But like I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tell me what you thought below in the comments, and tell me what you thought of the book. How does it differ from the book so far, just by judging this first episode? I hope you liked this video. Give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to hear more from me, including the rest of this review for this show alone. I hope you all have a great night. This is Ride the Movie Guy saying, I'll see you at the movies.